Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, oh, come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Top 1580, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Black History Month and Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. I'm so glad that everyone's joining us at this hour. Our regular host on Wednesdays worldwide is with Dr. P.L. De Silva, who has over 20 years' experience in backroom diplomacy, mediation, and negotiation. He's taught politics, international relations, and several graduate, undergraduate programs at universities in New York, New Jersey, Long Island, and Queen's University of Belfast in Northern Ireland. Dr. De Silva's publications include Postmodern Insurgencies, Political Violence, Identity Formation, and Peacemaking in Comparative Perspective. He is the co-founder with Professor W.K. Lakeshman, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, of the International War-Related Trauma Humanitarian Intervention Trust, setting up psychosocial training programs for practitioners serving combatants, non-combatants during Sri Lanka's civil war. Dr. De Silva, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, Jesse. Very happy to join you.
I am so glad that you're here, and you brought with you a very special guest, Mayor Desulme. Mayor Desulme, Alex Desulme, is the mayor of North Miami. His journey in public service began with historic milestones. In 2009, he became North Miami's first Black city clerk and the youngest Haitian American to hold such a position in the United States. His path-breaking leadership continued in 2015 when he was elected to the North Miami City Council to represent District 4. Over the years, he's earned the trust and admiration of residents, displayed in his landslide re-election in 2019. His tenure as vice mayor in 2016 solidified his reputation as a trailblazer and advocate for the community. Throughout his career, Mayor Desulme has championed innovative programs that enrich the lives of North Miami residents. His creation of the Gold and Silver Senior Program provided critical support and resources to the city's senior population through initiatives like Let's Eat Healthy. Mayor Desulme, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, brother. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want to say good afternoon to my good friend, Dr. P.L. Saliva. How are you?
I'm very good. Very good. Good to see you, brother.
Dr. De Silva, I'm so grateful that Mayor Desulme is here with us because there is a lot of activity taking place with ICE in the Miami area. We certainly like to get some feedback from the mayor on that and its impact on the Haitian community. There's also been a reprieve, some federal activity from a judge who's halted Trump's TPS status within the state, and we'll get some feedback on that from the mayor as well. PL, why don't we begin our program with you because there's so much in the world that's being covered, and your thoughts in this hour.
Yes, I think it was very important to have Mayor Desulme to join us because he's a proponent and an exponent of protecting Haitian migrants in the United States, as well as helping Haitians back home. And I would actually like to hear from the mayor, Dr. Alex, as to the positive contribution that Haitians have made to the economy and the culture and the politics of the United States, because that's something we don't hear from the Trump White House. We only get garbage coming out from there. So I'd like to hear from the mayor as to the positive contribution. We want to hear about positive things. And I think this is very important for our audience and for the Congressional Black Caucus to hear.
Indeed, and I think it's so fitting as we begin Black History Month that we would begin this segment on this. We have contributed so much, beginning to why America is where we are today. If you recalled, because of the Louisiana Purchase. Now, a lot of people seems to don't remember what happened, but Haiti became the first Black independent nation that abolished slavery, and Frederick Douglass at that time was thinking, being the ambassador to Haiti, was about about us Black people going back there since we were the first Black. Because of that effort, Napoleon, who the slaves, the enslaved folks from Africa destroyed, he abolished, and part of that plan was to come and purchase the U.S. And that would not have been what we know the U.S. to be. And because of the effort that happened in Haiti of the revolt that happened in 1803, they decided to go back to France, and that kind of paved the way for the Louisiana Purchase. And that's just one of the many that folks don't remember about. The wonderful city of Chicago was founded by a Haitian, de Sableur, who founded, Chicago. There's so many much contribution when we talk about the modern age, what my folks have done. We fought in the American Revolution. There were slaves and folks from Haiti, that had helped the U.S. throughout the way. But more recently, we are members of this community. I was born in Haiti, but came to this country at the age of 7. Legally through the process. It's now we have to justify who we are and how we got here. Not only the fact that we left Africa, but we had to come to a country of Haiti that we had to fight for. Now we're here. We made it here, thinking things will be better. We still have to see who we are and what we do. But more specifically and more current, Haitian American contribute almost $2.3 billion to the U.S. economy right here in Florida, which is the battleground for Haitian Americans. My city of North Miami, we have the largest concentration of Haitian living in the U.S. And in Florida, we are looking at a 2 point, the amount of money that we are losing in terms of the contribution of Haitians. And the number that I mentioned is only dealing with the TPS holders, which we're going to talk about later. But we are professionals. We are the healthcare industry. Haitians have always done what needs to be done in all sorts of careers. So we culturally we contribute to this country.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to Worldwide Wealthy Wednesdays with Worldwide and PL De Silva on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our very special guest is Mayor Alex De Sulme, North Miami Beach's first Black mayor of the city, at least certainly the first Black city clerk. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up? What's up? What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Munell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
Well, I hang around my boy. He's been married for 6 years. Videotaping his wedding day, never watched it. Now every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing herself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church, getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
On KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. once again. This is Worldwide with P.L. De Silva. Our very special guest is the Honorable Alex de Sulme. He is the mayor of North Miami. In addition to his role as mayor, Mayor de Sulme continues to inspire through his work as an adjunct professor at St. Thomas University and as an educational consultant. With a doctoral degree in education leadership, his research on reducing truancy in public schools, in public charter schools, underscores his commitment to addressing systemic educational challenges and creating pathways for student success. Your Honor, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, Jesse. It's a pleasure for me to be here and also with my good friend P.L. De Silva.
Dr. de Sulme, just before our break, you were talking about the temporary protected status of Haitians in the state of Miami and more specifically in your city. We know that a federal judge has now blocked Donald Trump's efforts to eliminate that status for Haitians, which could have only brought the terror of ICE to the Haitian community. Please share with us the thoughts, the anxieties, and the feelings of those Haitians in North Miami who've made an enormous contribution, not only to the state, but to the country.
Oh, wow. Brother, we are talking about, and I alerted to that earlier, $5.9 billion to the economy of TPS holders. There's about 330,000 Haitians who came here under, since President Obama after the deadly earthquake, as you know, in 2010. So a lot of those folks who are, a lot of professionals who've been on TPS, it's just had been something. It is at the right of the president. The president, each president have done it in terms of renewed. And this president, when he came, this administration said they would not renew it. So what happened last week was that kind of set the perfect what happened a couple months prior to that. In going back in October, the administration came in, and as you know, it's the right of the president to designate temporary protected status, which is TPS. This administration says they would not renew it for several countries. Obviously, the president's feeling about immigrants. So we knew that was a challenge. So what happened from October when he canceled TPS, he then said the people had a month to leave, which in this country under the presidents could cancel TPS. However, the people would have 6 months to depart. That 6 months, folks challenged that decision. And obviously the court back then said, no, you have 6 months. The 6 months ended, which was would have been yesterday, February 3rd, from the time that he ended until now. So what happened yesterday was there's several other communities. It's not only the Haitian community, but when you talk about Black migration in this country, it's mainly Haiti and those that trickle in a little bit of from the Caribbean, but it's really Haiti and mainly Africa. But Haiti, obviously closer to the US, you get large number of that. So it's a pause on the decision that was made that happened yesterday. So in the Supreme Court, he did say that he is allowed to do that, to cancel TPS. So what happened last week was there was some plaintiff that put up the argument that in the manner that Kristi Noem, who is the Secretary of the HS, the way the decision was made, it was racially and the decision that they said why they made that decision. The I guess the explanation that they gave was Haiti is safe, as you and I and everybody else in America would know. That is not a country, especially the gang that's overtaking all of the country. There's no hospital system, there's no healthcare system. Everything has been dismantled. There has not been a president elected for the past couple of years. So the administration put out the alert number 4, which is the highest in terms of anybody could go. And then for them to turn around and say, oh, Haiti is safe, they could go back now. So that was the decision. So it's a pause. So we could breathe. So meaning that what happened the day before yesterday was the judge simply said that the manner of which that they canceled TPS, that was not done improper. So the administration now could, which they have already said they will appeal it to the highest court, which would give them definitely the final decision. So it's a small breathing. And we don't know how many weeks that is, but so folks are still in limbo. But it's like you said, Jesse, we are so grateful for any little miracle, and certainly the other day that's what happened with Judge Reyes, who gave a little miracle to 330,000 people. And by the way, Jesse, and I don't think I even told this to PL, one of my constituents who was living in North Miami, and I mentioned at the end of the show, which was the largest concentration of Haitian American in the country, he killed himself a couple of weeks ago, who was a TPS holder, just jumped out the building and left behind a small little baby. And it's just people who, there was no hope for them. And obviously, he couldn't, whatever that decision was. And it's a sad situation. So we all are praying. Hopefully something will come out. But it's just a little, we could breathe for a minute or two.
TPL, this is obviously just a reprieve for the Haitian people in North Miami and in the state of Florida. And I'm thinking in this moment that cruelty really is the point. When you think about the devastating earthquake that allowed them to come to the United States in the first place, temporary protective status, the deportation, if you will, of the Haitian people and others is not the same process by which citizenship is granted to others who face similar devastation in their countries. PL, your thoughts about the cruelty?
Yes, the cruelty goes hand in hand with the racism. If you look at the peoples who are being targeted, in these anti-immigrant raids of ICE and who are being profiled, it's pure racism. And to see that a great country like America is actually, taking actions on racist policies, it's very sad to see, because a lot of people thought great things about the United States. A great country has contributed a lot to democracy and world peace since 1945. And since then, the empire is crumbling. And with the crumbling of the empire and the power of the United States, the cruelty inside the country is becoming more and more unpalatable. And it also goes hand in hand with the debt burden of the United States, which stands now at $78 trillion. And I think it's a hopeless situation, but as I always say, that in the midterm elections, we are going to turn this around, and the Republican Party who support Trump, they are going to lose their control over the House, and that is what I pray for.
With the most recent election of a Texan, there is only one vote in the Congress of the United States that separates the Democratic Party from that control, even before the midterms. And so we can certainly hope and pray that if, in fact, the opportunity presents itself, Hakeem Jeffries could very well be the Speaker of the House in the not too distant future. Should another member of Congress, a Republican, retire, resign, it would fundamentally shift that majority. I want to go back to Mayor DeSulme for a moment, because the pressure and stress that you talked about that North Miami Haitians are experiencing led to at least one suicide. While we may not know what the cause of the suicide was, are you experiencing the stress, your community that is, the stress of mental health and the specter of mass deportations, and the fact that ICE could come to your city and state in very, very cruel ways, not unlike seen in Minneapolis?
Well, brother, to answer the first part of the question, we know and we feel it. That person who killed himself was because of TPS. So it's not something that we heard. We know the pastor who baptized his son a few weeks ago knew, and that's how we find out. I thought it was just a random thing. I just learned it was because of TPS a couple of days ago. In terms of that, so the cruelty. Not everybody was built like us, Jesse and PL. We don't know, but we pray that these folks, there won't be others. But in terms of what's happening with ICE and in the operation. North Miami is obviously we are a very diverse community in South Florida, very prominent community, and I know we are next to the president's daughter doesn't live too far from us, so we are very peaceful community, very nice community. So we haven't had any ICE activity, which we know that there's been some targeted ICE. And let me say this, Jesse, I think all of us, policymakers, and especially for me, that we all support criminals, whatever the case is that the president was talking about. I don't think nobody would want a criminal or somebody who have done something illegally to be here in this country. That's not what we've seen, and that's not what we've witnessed in the last couple of weeks. These are men and women, obviously, who are working every day to do what they do. But I think it's beyond them. And I think PL, listening to the show a couple of weeks, because he based on the show, and you guys are right in terms of the targeting. It is targeting special population due to our whatever that may be, culture, race. Obviously, there's a lot that's going on, and we just have to be mindful. And as a public servant, the stress is high. But again, Jesse, I think you, PL, all of us who are serving in whatever capacity that we are, God put us here for a reason at this particular time. So we have to deal with it and do the best that we can and ask Him for guidance. And that's all I've been doing every day, because walking in, not only we dealing with the affordability crisis, it's so many crises on top of one another. And for me to be here as a mayor to say I'm not losing my mind, you think you hear one thing and you got to check CNN to see if something else is not going on. So we talk about healthcare, which there are a lot of stuff that is uncontrollable that's happening right here in the state of Florida. Remember, Florida is the battleground for a lot of the stuff that's happening, a lot of the policies. So our governors sometimes want to go extra, hardcore, where I was just meeting with folks. They are cutting funding for healthcare, folks with HIV and AIDS, and all of these different services that folks get. We already know the affordability crisis is a problem. People can't afford rent. Food prices is up. So we get everything, and we're on the front line as mayors.
Your Honor, let me just add this. We have about 2.5 minutes before we come forward, so this is a fairly quick question for a hard stop at the 30. What are the conditions on the ground in Haiti? Obviously, they were granted temporary protective status because of the conditions on the ground in Haiti. Have there been any noticeable improvements that would justify a mass exodus back to Haiti by the Trump administration?
Brother, let me tell you, I have brothers still in Haiti by choice. I cannot even go to Haiti right now, even if I want to. and I'm from a town 50 miles of Port-au-Prince, gangs are taking over. And there's a wonderful reporter, Jackie Charles from the Miami Herald, that if you read her columns, it's beyond. There's no school, there's no hospital, there's nothing there, and you have infights. You don't have leadership, so it's bad. It's not a place where I would send my worst enemy right now. Well, we hope it'll get better, but right now it's not a place where you could send anybody.
PL, once again, the cruelty is the point. Why threaten people to return to a condition that they indeed cannot survive it? We have about a minute and 30 seconds before we come forward.
It's because it's also distracts the American public from asking too many questions about the Epstein files. So it's distract, deflect, cause a war somewhere, attack something, try to change the narrative about the Epstein files, of which the current president, Donald J. Trump, is deeply mired in. And if you hear some of the horrible stories coming out of the recent batch of Epstein files, it's unbelievable, the cruelty that has been meted out to young people, teenagers. I mean, this is pedophilia, cruelty. So it's all encompassing, and the president doesn't want us to ask these questions. He'd like to say, oh, it's the Haitians, oh, it's Minnesota, oh, it's the Somalis. It's anybody but himself. And that's the huge problem we have in America today.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to Worldwide with PL De Silva. Our very special guest is the Honorable Alex De Silva. He is the mayor of North Miami and our very special guest. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is defending his executive order aimed at holding federal immigration agents accountable for misconduct, saying it does not interfere with Cook County State's attorney's authority.
Like any other case, the state's attorney has their jurisdiction to decide if they're going to move forward.
State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke says she is reviewing the order's legality. A new analysis shows Black and Latino enrollment at the nation's most selective colleges has dropped sharply since the Supreme Court ended affirmative action. The nonprofit Class Action found Black enrollment fell 27%, while white and Asian American enrollment largely stayed the same, raising concerns about growing income and equity gaps. And police in Milton, Georgia are asking for help locating rapper Lil Jon's missing adult son. Authorities say 27-year-old Nathan Smith, also known as DJ Young Slade, was last seen at his home Tuesday morning and may be disoriented. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Escape the confines of the city for the expansive beauty of the Santa Ynez Valley with a short 2-hour drive up the coast. Let Chumash Casino Resort be your destination getaway. Welcome to freedom. Go to chumashcasino.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
There could be a weird atmosphere tonight at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers traded James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers Tuesday afternoon. The Cavs are in town to play the Clippers tonight. If Harden passes the mandatory physical, he could be in a Cleveland uniform to face his former team. Darius Garland, the player the Clippers got from Cleveland, is not expected to play tonight. He's been out since January 19th with an ankle injury. Kawhi Leonard was added as a reserve for the NBA All-Star game. Leonard is averaging 27.6 points and leads the league in steals and free throw percentage. The All-Star game is February 15th at the Intuit Dome. The Lakers finished their 8-game road trip Tuesday night with a 5-3 record. They beat Brooklyn 125-109. LeBron had 25 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Austin Reeves, playing his first game since Christmas, had 15 points in 21 minutes off the bench. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley. The tools to hold a meaningful conversation should not be reserved just for a privileged few. It is a skill our world desperately needs in every community, at every table. So I'm pleased to announce the Founding Members Scholarship Program for my online course, The Art of Conversation, in 4 different categories. The Community Builder, for those who serve others, the Rising Voice for emerging communicators, the Bridge Builder for underrepresented perspectives, and the Determined Scholar for those facing financial hardship. If finances are the only barrier between you and this training, well, let's hurdle that barrier. We're accepting applications right now at TavisTalks.com. That's TavisTalks.com. The priority deadline is February the 10th. So visit TavisTalks.com right now and let's build this table together.
They call it progress, but progress has a price. Land once held in black hands, taken, stolen, erased. Acres paved into highways, fields burned. Homes replaced by parking lots and broken promises. Every deed lost was a dream deferred. We talk about millionaires, but what about the millionaires that never were? The farmers whose soil was seized. The families who watched their inheritance disappear. The wealth that never had a chance to grow because its roots were ripped from the ground. They took the land, but never the legacy, because the soil remembers, and so do we. Every story matters. Our mission is to collect, preserve, and amplify these stories. If this is part of your family's history, visit blacklandlost.org/share your story and help bring us closer to justice.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the Southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to Worldwide with PL De Silva. Our very special guest is the mayor of North Miami, Mayor Alex DeSulme. Grateful that both of them are here in this Black History moment on this date. In 1913, Rosa Parks, the mother of the civil rights movement who initiated the Montgomery bus boycott, was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. On this date, in 1794, the African Methodist Episcopal Church, AME Church, was founded in Philadelphia by Richard Allen. In 1875, Congressman James T. Rapier of Alabama delivered a speech in the U.S. House supporting the Civil Rights Act. On this date in 1986, hockey legend Grant Fuhr became the first Black player named MVP of the NHL All-Star Game. And on this date in 1986, the U.S. Postal Service issued a stamp honoring Sojourner Truth. In 1996, J.C. Watts became the first Black person selected to deliver a State of the Union response. I served with J.C. Watts during that period, and I remember that response. He delivered in 1996. I was elected in 1995. In 1971, the National Guard troops were mobilized to quell riots in Wilmington, North Carolina. That would be 1971. I want to welcome both of our guests forward, especially Dr. P.L. De Silva and the Honorable Alex DeSulme, North Miami's mayor. Grateful to both of you for being here. Mayor DeSulme, I do want to share with you that when my mother was in her late 20s or early 30s, we had a Black exposition here in the city of Chicago. And one of the most impressive exhibits I've ever seen anywhere were the notable African Americans and our brothers and sisters in the diaspora that she honored with life-size statues at that exposition. And I didn't quite fully appreciate everyone. I recognized John H. Johnson. I recognized Hank Aaron. I recognized Nat King Cole, some of the other figures that she selected. But she was particularly moved and impressed with Toussaint Louverture. And that was an eye-opening experience for those of us who had no idea. Again, this is the early 70s of the history or what our relationship was as African Americans to the Haitian people. Can you take this time to share some of that history with us on Black History Month so that people can appreciate the complete kinship that exists between our nation and yours?
Jesse, let me say this. I think your family legacy, especially your father, my congresswoman, the current congresswoman Frederica Wilson, often talks about how they talked about Jesse and the contribution that you guys have done for the Haitian people, for my people. And I know he has traveled to Haiti several times with a lot of our brothers and sisters. So we are greatly thankful for the contribution. Is huge. I mean, we talked about the founder of the Windy City where you are, to today, to what we do, what we contribute to this country. It's just, at the beginning of Black history, to think that we'll be going through this after 200 years plus of going through. And keep in mind, enslaved, that was brought here by force to the Americas and to Haiti. So the separation is not one, it's just like my great grandparents were dropped in Haiti and in different parts of the Caribbean, and some made it here directly to be enslaved. So what we have done as a people, not necessarily, I know a lot of time the African American think it's a disconnect, but we are the same people. If we do our DNA, I think when I did my DNA, 24% from Benin and the rest throughout West Africa. I just had 2% just popped up recently of Spain, but 98%, is from the motherland. And Jesse, I think if you do yours, it's probably the same thing. So the contribution we have done as a people together in this country. And I was so glad that you shown about Rosa Parks, all of our various leaders, and yet Toussaint Louverture have contributed. And as I stated earlier in the show, Frederick Douglass, who was an ambassador to Haiti at the time, said that we might have to go back to Haiti. One of the things that I want to talk about a little bit, I think it's something, and I think PL and we talked about this before, the contribution of Haiti. You got to understand where we are and why we are being treated with what we do. Back then, what Haiti did became the first Black country to be free from slavery, and what that meant for slave owners in the northern part, and which caused the Louisiana Purchase. That is something that's been in the history of our country, and they have not forgive us for a lot of that thing. And as a college professor, I often tell folks we are where we are because of our past. And sometimes I say maybe it's a curse that we were the first Black independent country and how we did it, because we're still paying for it. I mean, you got to remember, France, we were paying France as poor as Haiti was, because we had beat because of what happened, we had beat Napoleon as a black enslaved folks. We didn't have no money. We didn't have no resources. The slave used their own resources that they had from Africa to make Haiti be the first black republic in 1804 in the entire world. And we are paying for that. And one of the other things that they told me about, and that's why my Jewish brothers and sisters, they have been very integral in terms of what happened. So this country and all of these things that's happening in America, it's because of what we have done as a people, I believe.
I think that the foundation of our democracy, including the support of Haitians in the American Revolution, is a factor in our freedom. PL, Donald Trump has his sights set not only on South America, but it has it set on the Caribbean and the strategic significance of the passageways, if you will, of the waterways through the Caribbean. Haiti is a factor in Donald Trump's global domineering.
Yes. So the thing is this: if we look at the logic of what President Trump is doing, he is targeting countries that have resources. So, yeah, Venezuela was one. It's a petrostate. And there are petrostates in Africa that are also in danger, Nigeria being another. Trinidad and Tobago, they are also probably a potential target. And therefore, we need to be very cognizant of what is happening, that this is naked US imperialism. It is colonialism all over again. And they are going after, the Trump administration is going after countries with resources. So the petrostates, and then, of course, other countries like Greenland. And for that, he got severely snubbed in Geneva and at the World Economic Forum by the Europeans who closed ranks. And there is a sharp divide, a transatlantic divide. And it's only when you stand up to despots and hegemons that you can try to salvage what used to be the rules-based world order. So a similar situation is happening with Iran, where the US is using gunboat diplomacy with, I would say, not an armada, but a single aircraft carrier and a few destroyers and frigates attending. What they could actually hope to do in Iran is not clear, but I don't think that kind of firepower is actually enough. And again, it's US and Israeli imperialism in the Middle East. So these are not good times for the world.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to Worldwide with P.L. Da Silva. Our very special guest is the Honorable Alex de Sulme, the mayor of North Miami. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
February 4th is Transit Equity Day. To mark the occasion, Metro is offering free rides all day on the 4th. Providing safe, accessible, and affordable transportation is a commitment Metro makes year-round. Learn more at thesource.metro.net.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest is none other than the Honorable Alex DeSulme, the mayor of North Miami, as well as the regular contributor, P.L. De Silva, on Word Worldwide with P.L. De Silva. Gentlemen, welcome forward to the show.
Thank you.
Your Honor, let me ask you this question. I think your phone might be muted. Your mic might be muted. Your Honor, this one final question, and then we usually leave our very special guest with an opportunity for a word of hope, followed by a comment that I'd like to hear from P.L. De Silva. I'm thinking that there are some Haitians who've come here since the earthquake and some families who've come here that would like to stay in the United States. I'm sure that there is some kind of pathway to citizenship that exists for them. For those that are choosing the pathway to citizenship, what concerns do you have at this hour?
Well, brother, I think that's a narrow window because you have folks. The TPS is one tool, and I know the secretary mentioned she was here earlier this week in Florida. Mentioned there's several options. There's not, and I talked to several. I'm not an attorney, but I've talked to several immigration attorney. It's narrow, and you got to remember the administration is the administration that would grant any, and they made it crystal clear they do not want brown people in the country. So I think it's not only in with Haiti, but obviously being black, when you talk about black migration, Haiti is the face, and then trickling the numbers of folks who are coming in from our brothers and sisters from Africa. And the Caribbean is always a low number, but it's there. But they don't want blacks here, so that we get. The only way that would resolve anything, and we know we've been hearing it for years, is Congress would have to do a comprehensive immigration that would kind of talk to address not only the TPS holders, but the dreamers and all of these. And you and I, brother, we know, and PL is an expert on this. We don't see that happening anytime soon. So again, we just gonna live, day by day, and it's not a strategy, but it's reality where we are right now.
PL, do you think even for a moment that a Democratic-led Congress, even under Hakeem Jeffries, is going to be in a position to create an immigration bill that respects Black and brown people as part of the process in this particular environment? I mean, how much longer do you think he would actually be Speaker if, in fact, he advanced the case for more of us having access to the American dream? Bill?
Yeah, Democrats need to have a plan, and they need to organize as much as the Republican Party and the Heritage Foundation did in order to pave the way for Donald Trump to get elected for a second time. And for that to happen, there needs to be a sea change in how the Democratic Party views an immigration bill, how to take on the Trump administration, how to defeat the Republicans, and to capture power in 2029. For all this to happen, it has to be done like a military campaign. And also the Democrats need to grow a spine. Really. They can't sit on the sidelines. This is a clear fight for the soul of this country. And this diverse, amazing, wonderful country, we cannot let it be trashed by ignorant people who are bigots, racists, who are cruel. And we, the peoples of America, need to get together and work together to make sure that this change happens. And the Democratic Party really needs to pull its socks up and get its program in action. They've got less than 3 years to do that. And we need to help them as much as we can with programs like this, the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. We need to help them and guide them and hold their hand if necessary and get people out.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest in this hour has been none other than the Honorable Alex DeSolme. He is the mayor of North Miami. Mayor DeSolme continues to inspire through his work as an adjunct professor at St. Thomas University and as an educational consultant. He has a doctoral degree in educational leadership. His research on reducing truancy in public charter schools underscores his commitment to addressing systemic educational challenges and creating pathways for student success. Mayor DeSolme, we try to ask our guests at the end of every program to offer for 3 minutes a word of hope. We'll take advantage of that 3 minutes and share with us from your perspective the hope that the hour needs.
Well, I want to say thank you, to your producer, especially to my good friend, DL from another mother. Jesse, I would talk about, I want to just comment and on not on the political end on this one, but brother Hakeem Jeffrey, is one part, the House, and I think DL alluded to that. I think we got to keep in mind right now, the current administration has every piece of government, from the executive branch down to the Supreme Court. So something could happen in the House. It has to go through the Senate, and then the president has to sign it. So I think the PL kind of talked about the holistic thing, which I won't get into the partisan part. But brother, again, thank you again. But for the word of hope, especially now, we saying, as we talked about Black history, and to my fellow listeners who are listening, we are not animals. We are people born from courage. I think our history even prove where we are. The slaves who got on that ship to make that journey. And I was in Benin a couple of weeks ago, and I went to the point of no return where the slaves were, loaded um, into these boats to come here in different parts of the Americas. And the journey, they had to take 4 days walking from one area of the particular town I was in Savalu to get to where they near the Cotonou. When I'm in Ghana, I go and visit the point of no return. It's a reminder of who we are and where we came from. And folks, I usually tell folks, you got to know where you came from in order for you to know where you are going. So I'll say to my people, to friends of Haiti, friends of Haitian community, yes, we will rise again. We are folks who are resilient through our strength. What we are facing today is heavy. Yes, it is. But every group has some sort of dark history. But it seems like to us, the dark history is a little bit more. And I think it's because we are in the darkest hour. We have seen it, but we have gone through worse times than this. Our great grandfathers, grandmothers, they have gone through worse times than where we are. But we hope, we live in our resilience, in our culture, in our faith, in a way that we keep loving for our country, even when it's hurt. But remind us we are part of a big fabric of a community. So every act of kindness, honesty, and effort and dream for a better Haiti, that's a seed of who we are here in America. And we will stand. We will stand again, and we thank everyone for continue to pray with us as we rebuild and heal our community. And we want to thank everyone.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, PL. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been listening to Worldwide with PL De Silva. Our very special guest has been Alex DeSulme, the mayor of North Miami. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is defending his executive order aimed at holding federal immigration agents accountable for misconduct, saying it does not interfere with Cook County State's attorney's authority.
Like any other case, the state's attorney has their jurisdiction to decide if they're going to move forward.
State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke says she is reviewing the order's legality. A new analysis shows Black and Latino enrollment at the nation's most selective colleges has dropped sharply since the Supreme Court ended affirmative action. The nonprofit Class Action found Black enrollment fell 27%, while white and Asian American enrollment largely stayed the same, raising concerns about growing income and equity gaps. And police in Milton, Georgia are asking for help locating rapper Lil Jon's missing adult son. Authorities say 27-year-old Nathan Smith, also known as DJ Young Slade, was last seen at his home Tuesday morning and may be disoriented. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Escape the confines of the city for the expansive beauty of the Santa Ynez Valley with a short 2-hour drive up the coast. Let Chumash Casino Resort be your destination getaway. Welcome to freedom. Go to chumashcasino.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
There could be a weird atmosphere tonight at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Clippers traded James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers Tuesday afternoon. The Cavs are in town to play the Clippers tonight. If Harden passes the mandatory physical, he could be in a Cleveland uniform to face his former team. Darius Garland, the player the Clippers got from Cleveland, is not expected to play tonight. He's been out since January 19th with an ankle injury. Kawhi Leonard was added as a reserve for the NBA All-Star game. Leonard is averaging 27.6 points and leads the league in steals and free throw percentage. The All-Star game is February 15th at the Intuit Dome. The Lakers finished their 8-game road trip Tuesday night with a 5-3 record. They beat Brooklyn 125-109. LeBron had 25 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Austin Reeves, playing his first game since Christmas, had 15 points in 21 minutes off the bench. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley. The tools to hold a meaningful conversation should not be reserved just for a privileged few. It is a skill our world desperately needs in every community, at every table. So I'm pleased to announce the Founding Members Scholarship Program for my online course, The Art of Conversation, in 4 different categories. The Community Builder, for those who serve others, the Rising Voice for emerging communicators, the Bridge Builder for underrepresented perspectives, and the Determined Scholar for those facing financial hardship. If finances are the only barrier between you and this training, well, let's hurdle that barrier. We're accepting applications right now at TavisTalks.com. That's TavisTalks.com. The priority deadline is February the 10th. So visit TavisTalks.com right now and let's build this table together.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Talk 1580, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We continue to celebrate Black History Month on KBLA. It was never Carter G. Woodson's intention that this would only be a week or even expanded to a month. I've already learned something about Black History Month that I had not known previously, that the second week in February encompasses both the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. And that's why Carter G. Woodson chose the second week of February that was ultimately expanded to the first, third, and fourth weeks of February to include an entire month. And we always hear that Black History Month is the shortest month of the year, 28 days, and that is always cause for its own source of reflection. But it was never Carter G. Woodson's intention that Black History Month only be taught during a week or a month, but that every single day, which is why I'm so grateful to our producer, Gina Towns, for giving us the significance of what occurs every single day at some moment, at some date, at some time in Black history. We were here. And so every single day, somewhere, something happened that we were engaged in, some form of liberation, some form of discrimination, some form of degradation, some form of disrespect, some form of jubilation, some form of heightened culture and experience. The date that Michael Jackson moonwalked changed the world. The date of the first music video changed the world. And the date that African Americans appeared on MTV changed the world, because we were here. And so every single day is rich, not just during Black History Month, but it is rich with, as our producer has laid out, these events on a single day that since the inception of the holiday, 100 years, but even more than that, since our inception here, American history is layered with the activity of Black people. It's layered with the activity of the indigenous. It's layered with the activity of women. It's layered with the activity of every category, except when it comes to acknowledging our contribution, more often it is ignored than accepted. And so we're grateful to have this opportunity on KBLA, not only to reflect upon the history of African Americans, but the history of the structure of the United States and the role that the United States has played as a result and in reaction to the very presence of the Negro here. I don't feel any kind of way about being American. I am definitely that. Make no mistake about it. But it is in the context of being American that makes us unique. That the Negro is really called to something special, called to a liberation narrative, a freedom narrative, an emancipation narrative. In fact, Abraham Lincoln, I think in a speech to the Sanitary Fair, was asked the question about liberty. He said, on the one hand, this question of liberty is the right of an individual to do with themselves as they choose. So we hear white folks talking about their liberty all the time. I'm free in America. I'm liberated. I can be who I want to be in America. We've heard it for centuries. But Abraham Lincoln recognized another problem. He said that the word liberty for some folk means the ability to do with other people as they choose. Meaning, I have the right to tell you what to do with your freedom, the right to tell you that you are unfree, the right to tell you how far you can go, what bathroom you can use, what water fountain you can drink out of, which entrance to the restaurant or to the hotel you can take, or what stage you can perform on. The right of other people to tell another human being what to do is also a form of liberty. Like taking a liberty, like you taking a liberty with me. You ain't got no right to take no liberty with me. He said, how is it that we can, as a nation, have the same word with two very different meanings based upon the geography of where we live? If we live in the North, to be liberty is to truly be liberated at the hour that Abraham Lincoln delivered the speech at the Sanitary Fair. But to have liberty in the South, when the term was used, it meant to have the liberty to do with your women what you want, gone with the wind. You had the right to do with your slaves what you want because they were commodities and they were property. He said, now, we are not agreed upon the word liberty in that it means two different things in two different sections of the country. I am so grateful that Abraham Lincoln did not issue the Liberty Proclamation to free the Negro in America. He issued something that he did not want to be confused with the word liberty. He chose a different word to describe the uniqueness of African Americans. He said, I'm issuing an Emancipation Proclamation. And we are fortunate that emancipation means the emancipation, yes, of slaves in the territories that the Union did not have control over, but it kept it in place in the areas that the Union did have control over. For if he had granted liberty to those territories that chose to stay in the Union, certainly the politics of those states could have collapsed around Washington, D.C., and if that had happened and the government had fallen into the hands of the Confederacy, slavery would have endured indeed not only decades, but maybe even another century longer. So he chose the word and the language of the Emancipation Proclamation very, very carefully. But he committed himself after Gettysburg to the full emancipation of all in both the states and in the territories and in the counties. And we are to be extremely grateful for the uniqueness in which the Negro experience demands not liberty, not just freedom, but absolute and complete emancipation. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our very special guest, S. Tadiri, will be with us in just a moment. More when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up? What's up? What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited